Living organisms exhibit certain characteristic features common amongst all of them. Living organisms can move. They respond to external stimuli. Plants grow towards the light. They maintain a stable internal environment in spite of changes in the external environment. Animals reproduce by having babies, while the plants produce seeds. Babies grow into adults, and the seedling grows into a plant. Living organisms require nutrition. Plants produce their own food. Animals derive their nutrition from the plants or other animals. Living organisms respire to turn the food into energy. They perform different chemical activities inside their cell known as metabolism. Living organisms remove their metabolic wastes by excretion. These processes are cumulatively known as basic life processes.
Photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophic plants synthesize carbohydrates. Plants require sunlight to carry out photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is an anabolic process wherein complex molecules are synthesized from simpler ones. Can you recall the basic requirements for photosynthesis to occur? Thus, we may define photosynthesis as the process by which green plants produce carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. From the definition, most of you might conclude that the process of photosynthesis occurs only during daytime. But this is not so. Photosynthesis continues through day and night. Photosynthesis is carried out in two stages: light-dependent reaction and light-independent reaction. Light-independent reaction, also called the dark reaction or Calvin cycle, can continue even in the absence of light. However, it requires the energy produced in the light-dependent reactions and so is indirectly regulated by light. The chloroplast of plant cells is the site of photosynthesis. Chloroplast is an organelle present in the cytoplasm of the plant cell. It is bounded by a double membrane. Chloroplast contains the pigment chlorophyll, which is a major requirement for photosynthesis. The chloroplast contains a matrix of ground substance called stroma. Stacks embedded in the stroma are called grana. The grana is made up of stacks of thylakoids arranged one above the other to give the grana a pile-like appearance. Light reaction occurs in the thylakoid membrane, and dark reaction occurs in the stroma. The events that occur during the process of photosynthesis can be summarized in 3 points. First, light energy is absorbed by the chlorophyll molecule. This is a part of the light-dependent reaction. Second, the light energy is converted into chemical energy, and water molecules are split into hydrogen and oxygen. This is also part of the light-dependent reaction. And finally, the carbon dioxide absorbed by the plant undergoes reduction reaction to form carbohydrates. This reaction does not require light and hence is part of the light-independent reaction.
Changing materials with their surrounding environment. Unicellular organisms perform life processes by their single cell by diffusion. Multicellular organisms are formed of many layers, and diffusion alone is not enough to supply the millions of unexposed cells. Groups of specialized cells form different organs and systems to perform different life processes. Multicellular organisms have separate organs for consumption, digestion, and elimination of undigested food, separate systems for respiration, circulation of food and gases, and for the elimination of toxic substances. Apart from having multiple cells, what is the principal difference between multicellular and unicellular organisms? Let's have a detailed look at the four primary life processes: nutrition, respiration, circulation, and excretion.
Experiment performed on a hydrilla plant. The hydrilla plant is kept in a beaker filled with water. A funnel is placed over it. A test tube is inverted over the stem of the funnel. Let's keep this setup in two different conditions, in light and in dark. When the setup is kept in light, we observe that many bubbles evolve continuously into the inverted test tube. These bubbles are actually oxygen that is released during photosynthesis in hydrilla. When the setup is kept in dark, the number of bubbles will be comparatively less. Why is this so? Why is there a difference in the number of oxygen bubbles when the plant is kept under different conditions of light? Light is important for the light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis, during which oxygen is released. In the absence of light, the hydrilla's rate of photosynthesis was less, and hence there was a decrease in the number of oxygen bubbles. So, from this experiment, we can conclude that light intensity affects photosynthesis. But how do you confirm that the bubbles released are oxygen bubbles? There's a solution to it. After bubbles collect in the inverted test tube, carefully remove the tube and place a glowing splinter in the test tube. The splinter will light up with a flame. Oxygen in the tube helps ignite this flame. This proves that oxygen was produced as a result of photosynthesis of hydrilla. Affect photosynthesis. These factors are classified as external and internal factors. External factors are the environmental factors that affect photosynthesis. It includes light, carbon dioxide, temperature, water. Internal factors include leaf anatomy, chlorophyll content, age of the leaf, and accumulation of photosynthetic products. All these factors affect the rate of photosynthesis. If any one factor is deficient, photosynthesis rate will be affected. The factor that is deficient or is present only in suboptimal levels becomes the limiting factor and will be responsible for affecting the rate of photosynthesis. The rate of photosynthesis is generally calculated based on the rate of oxygen production. However, this is an approximate estimation, as some of the oxygen produced in the process of photosynthesis is used by the plant for respiration. Starch production is an indicator of the occurrence of photosynthesis. Let's check out how to determine the presence of starch in a leaf. De-starch the leaves of a potted plant by keeping the plant in the dark for 2 to 3 days. Pluck a leaf off it and boil it in water. Next, pour off the water and boil the leaf in ethanol or methanol over a boiling water bath. Keep boiling until the leaf becomes pale white. This indicates that chlorophyll is removed. This procedure causes the leaf to become brittle. Soften the leaf by dipping it in warm water. Now, place the leaf on a plain surface and pour a few drops of iodine solution on it. Carry out the same procedure on a leaf plucked from a plant kept in sunlight. Then, subject it to iodine solution. You will observe that the leaf from the plant kept in sunlight turns bluish black in color, while the other leaf wouldn't show any color change. This iodine test indicates that the leaf from the plant kept in sunlight was actively photosynthesizing and producing starch, whereas the plant, when kept in dark, couldn't photosynthesize and hence starch was not produced in its leaves. Throughout the day, we need energy. Where does this energy come from? Energy is obtained from food. We need our digestive system to obtain energy from food. The food that we eat is made up of complex substances that cannot be used in our bodies. This food is broken down into simpler substances with the help of digestive juices or enzymes. This process of breakdown of food is called digestion. Let us learn about our digestive system. Our digestive system comprises a continuous canal called the alimentary canal or digestive tract, starting from mouth and ending at the anus. It is made up of the following parts: mouth, known as the buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. The large intestine ends with the rectum and the anus. Liver and pancreas are called accessory digestive glands. Food does not enter these glands, but the juices secreted by them help in the breakdown of food. The digestive tract and accessory digestive glands collectively form the digestive system. Let's look at the digestive process.